Hello and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair Explore session. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a great list of institutions who are ready to share all about their campuses. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You may use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You don't have to wait until a certain institution is presenting. If you have questions for any or all of our institutions, go ahead and take advantage of that Q&A function. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is one of many different sessions happening, so you've got another couple sessions taking place after this as well. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/BACS. I'll drop that link in the chat as well. All right, we have a great variety of schools that will be presenting to you today that vary in size, location, and other characteristics. We hope the session broadens your horizons during your college search. We're going to have you click the, click the Explore slide here. Give me 1 second. All right, here's who we have with us today. So we have Boston College, Connecticut College, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, University of Colorado, Lafayette College, and Columbia College Chicago. What a great lineup. And now we're going to turn it over to them to get us started, kicking it off with Boston College. Whenever you're ready.
Sorry about that. Let's try this again. Okay. My apologies, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mary Beth Chevry, and I'm from Boston College, and in about 5 minutes, I'm trying to share with you some key features of the institution. So I'd love to start off by talking about our name. And this is not intended to be a surprise to anybody, but it may be some points of clarification. Boston College, our name is a little misleading. We are, in fact, not located in downtown Boston. We are located 6 miles from the city center in a village called Chestnut Hill, which is part of the city of Newton. Our campus sits literally on the city line of Boston. So as I said, 6 miles from the city center, and we have public transit directly across the street from our campus. The second part of our name that's confusing is college. BC is in fact a university. So
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know on our end, the presentation isn't looking, it's not displaying correctly.
Oh, it's not. Okay. You're not seeing it?
It's zoomed in really, really closely on only a portion.
Is this better then?
So here? I mean, we can see the slide. It looks like just a thumbnail to us. So I don't know if it's not in present mode.
Okay, let me try this again. Sorry about that, everyone. Thank you for telling me.
Of course, and I'm so sorry. I don't use this this view here, so I don't even know how to really give advice on how to fix it.
Okay, let me try this. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in and see if this will work. Better?
Perfect. Yes,
all
perfect.
Right. All right. So off we go again. So hopefully you have picked up on some of the features of the university, our location. We are considered to be a medium-sized university. And even though I said that our name is misleading, once you get to know BC a little bit better, and hopefully you'll have the opportunity to visit campus in the coming months, that you'll quickly learn that where we are positioned right outside the city of Boston, it really does lend itself to BC being a traditional college campus. And our focus truly is on the undergraduate experience. And you can certainly see that from the statistics in the left column, but it's also important to talk about our community. There's an intentionality behind what we do at the university, from hiring faculty. No faculty are hired as primarily researchers. Our faculty are hired to serve the undergraduate student body. 100% of full-time faculty teach undergraduates every year. That's actually a requirement at the university. And then also speaking to the intentionality of our students is that we have a high residency rate without it ever being required of students to live on campus. Students by tradition and choice opt to live on campus at BC. In fact, we see that more than 90% of our seniors choose to live on campus every year. So it speaks to the type of experience that our undergraduate students are seeking. And then also they're able to complement their experiences on campus with the city of Boston. Being the fact that Boston is often referred to as America's college town because of the number of colleges and universities, that also really speaks to the resources that are available for students for internships, research programs. The number one industry in Boston is healthcare. That's followed by finance. Third is startup and tech. So our students are absolutely able to take advantage of everything Boston has to offer, but still having that traditional space to call home on our campus. The makeup of the university for our 9,400 undergraduates includes 4 undergraduate schools. The largest is our Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences, which enrolls about 2/3 of our students. And then we offer 3 pre-professional schools. The takeaway from this list is that being an institution that's focused on liberal arts is that not only that we have a core curriculum, but we encourage students to take advantage of academic freedom, to really think about their undergraduate years with more autonomy in their planning. So students that may be in the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences that would like to pursue a minor in one of our pre-professional schools, they're able to do that. And then also for our students in the pre-professional schools, they can pursue another academic discipline elsewhere if they're interested. So you'll see, actually, although we have the 4 schools, there really is kind of those walls amongst the 4 schools are quite low, and we emphasize students to really stretch themselves intellectually. And this speaks to our identity of being a Jesuit Catholic university, which I'll just go back to in a moment. Some things that are happening on our campus right now is that we will be opening our Schiller Institute for Integrated Science and Society. This will house our new major in human-centered engineering, which will launch this fall, and also a new major in global public health. Those 2 majors alone, human-centered engineering and global public health, really do also speak to the direction that the university is heading when planning undergraduate education, really taking a wider lens to the needs when it comes to crises that and issues that are for students' generation that you will be called to answer when it comes to healthcare, sustainability, access to education, all those things that we hope to empower our students. And again, that speaks to our Jesuit Catholic identity. Boston College is one of 27 Jesuit institutions in the United States with a great deal of emphasis on liberal arts education, but then also really helping students learn to carve out their interest and their talents in ways that really do speak to that call to answer those greater questions and the needs of the world. So I think I'm out of time. So I apologize for the snafu at the beginning, but I do want to leave plenty of time for my colleagues to present.
Fantastic. What a great way to get us started with this event tonight. Thank you. We are going to hear now from Connecticut College. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, just about ready. I've got my screen share situated. Hopefully you're all seeing a Connecticut College slide. My name is Zach Street, and I'm the Director of West Coast Admission at Connecticut College. Happy to be here. I just want to start with a visual overview and a quick verbal overview of the college. Connecticut College, or Con College as we call it, is a traditional national residential selective liberal arts college in Connecticut. So not a misleading name in this case, a very clear one. We're in New London. We have a 750-acre arboretum campus. That's one of my favorite things about it. While we have a sort of a close-knit, close-together, beautiful stone architecture campus itself, all throughout and all surrounding the campus is 750 acres of trees and riverfront, and it's just a really spectacular college setting. We have 1,800 students, almost all of whom live on campus, so it's very much a residential community, a place where you will live and learn together. As a liberal arts college, we focus on breadth and depth, and we want students to study many different things and make connections between them with small classes, working closely with their faculty. So in those capacities, we're very traditional, but I'll focus on what makes us unique in a moment. But I did want to highlight a little bit more about our location. New London is a town of about 40,000 people, halfway between New York City and Boston. So it's about 2 hours in either direction to those. You can see the water, the ocean, and the river from our campus. And there is a train station nearby that you can use to access some of the big cities of the East Coast and New England. So it's a nice combination of a college community, beautiful setting with access to urban areas. But what makes us really stand out is our commitment to integrative education. Several years ago, we launched what we call our Connections curriculum, which does what this little slide is trying to visualize for you. It takes your major, your courses outside your major, study abroad, career-related activities, your senior project, and it really fuses them and unites them together in a single experience so that everything is enhancing the other elements. And it's an intentional student designed in many capacities experience that really maximizes all of the opportunities into a cohesive experience that charts your trajectory as strongly as possible. So the key elements of the Connections curriculum, first, like a lot of liberal arts colleges, you'll declare a major at the end of your sophomore year. Usually it's right at the end of freshman or early sophomore year, but you have a full 2 years to declare. And during your sophomore year, you will also, and this is what really stands out, declare an integrative pathway or apply to join an interdisciplinary center. They are a little bit different. The main difference is that centers have been around longer and have an application or selectivity process where the pathways are open, but the core idea is the same, that you get to pick a broader theme that can unite your many interests and push maybe from different majors, definitely from different majors who share that broader goal or passion. So some of our pathways are things like public health, where you might have biology, government, international studies, you name it, majors in there. Entrepreneurship, creativity, social justice, and sustainability. Things that might not be majors, but make sense as a bigger picture focus that can unite an interdisciplinary experience into a single pathway or center. A new one opening up this year called food. So you probably won't see food as a major at most liberal arts colleges, but man, the economics, the science, the agriculture, the sociological impacts, the biology, the chemistry of food, just a great example of how a pathway can really be interesting and also interdisciplinary. And maybe the best way to highlight this is a few student examples. I'll let you read these over. These are current seniors with their major, their minor, and their center or pathway highlighted. Some really great students featured here. And you can see a whole bunch of them on our website. The last two things I really want to highlight, one is our career preparation program. We won awards for our career development, and the pillars of it are a guaranteed funded internship for every student. It's not required, but almost 90% of our students will complete one or more paid internships during their time at Con. And it's actually a flexible career spending account that can fund an internship or a conference or research. And we have a 4-year career prep plan. So during your first week on campus, you're meeting with a career advisor to help you gain resume skills and interview skills and send you on your journey. And we end up with some really great graduate outcomes, in part because of that focus. The third and final main thing I want to mention is our honor code and sense of community. Our honor code is coming up on a 100-year birthday next year, and it's a commitment of our students to be their best selves and hold each other accountable to do the same. It works to the level that our final exams are unproctored and self-scheduled. We trust our students to be honest, to be fair, to lift each other up, to hold each other accountable, and to be part of a meaningful community. And so much more to say about it. I encourage you to ask me about it, but it's something I'm most proud of about the college. And just a real commitment to shared governance, equity and inclusion, all those things that make a community strong. I'll just wrap up here with a few photos of campus. This is the season we're in right now. Spring, fall, the Arboretum in the fall might be my favorite thing. And then I'll just invite you all to email me, schedule an interview your senior year, or connect with me on Instagram at West Coast Camel, since I'm based out west. Thanks for your time.
Awesome. Great to hear from you, Connecticut College. We are going to turn now to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, or RPI, whenever you are ready.
Thinking about it. Okay, can you see that okay, Jeannie? Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us today. My name's Daniel Paul. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Obviously, we just have a brief amount of time together, so I want to try and highlight some of the more unique things about RPI. Then hopefully you'll come and join us for an information session or gain some more information further down the line. So just a bit of context, we're a medium-sized research-focused institution with around 6,000 undergraduate students, and then we have around 1,700 grad students as well. We have students joining us from all states in the US for undergrad, around 17 different countries. Once you factor in our graduate students, it's around 37 countries. So it's a very diverse student population. We started as an engineering school in 1824. Around half of our students will still join us for engineering. Around 30% of our students will join us for the School of Science. And then the remainder of our students are split pretty evenly between our final three schools: the School of Architecture, the School of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, and the Lally School of Business Management. But you see those circles, they're all intersected. That is by design, not by chance. So we have 5 different schools, but we say 5 schools with low walls. So a big focus at Rensselaer is the interdisciplinary approach to your education. So even, for example, if you're joining us for an engineering major, all students, regardless of their major, they will take 24 credits in humanities, arts, and social sciences. This is not your traditional humanities. It's more humanities with a tech scientific twist. So it could be something like sustainability studies, cognitive science, game design and development. So often you can find something which can complement your major nicely. So many students will minor across different disciplines. A lot of students will also dual major too. We also offer something called co-terminals. So if you're looking to do a Bachelor of Science and a Master's, you could do that in a 5-year time frame instead of the traditional 6 as well. So again, the big focus is that interconnectivity. We are primarily focused on the STEM fields, but making sure you make those connections when you're with us. Another unique aspect I wanted to bring up was the access to research. So depending on the discipline you want to go into, especially in the STEM field, having that research kind of experience is huge when you're going on that next step into future employment. So many of our students are actually participating in research as early as their 2nd semester. Around 80% of our students during their undergrad time with us will do research on campus or off campus. So it is very easy to gain that research experience. So when you're going into the medical field, applying to medical school, having that research background, that experience is huge as well. Many students are actually published prior to graduation too. So I think one of those unique aspects is that research access too. And our alumni network is huge. Like I mentioned, we're founded in 1824. We have students that have graduated, gone on to do amazing things. Everything from the @sign in your email for better for worse, the Ferris wheel by George Ferris. I'm not sure if you've seen Apollo 13 before, but Kevin Bacon's character, George Lowe, was the director of the space program during that time frame. We're equal opportunities, so the Osborne brothers both designed Fenway Park and the old Yankee Stadium as well, but the list goes on. So there's a lot of alumni and a lot of connections through that. So obviously having all these connections, we want to make sure you make those connections with industry when you're with us as well. So we do have a pretty unique program called the Arch at Rensselaer. So the way the Arch program works, it's designed to give you an immersive experience in your junior year. So this could be in industry. So you can have an internship, which is 3 to 4 months, but we really set it up so you can do a co-op, which is going to be around 7 or 8 months in time. Many students also use that time frame for research. So if you're more research focused, you could go and use it for that. We also have a startup culture on campus and an on-campus business incubation center called the Severino Center. So many students actually start their own business. So if you've heard of Guitar before, probably aging myself a little bit right now, but that was an RPI grad. They started a gaming company called Vicarious Visions, made a few other companies as well, other games, in the Albany region too. So the way the Arch works is the summer prior to your junior year, all rising juniors, they'll spend a full semester on campus. You have the undivided attention of faculty, additional research opportunities, guest lecturers and such. But the main reason is to give you that flexibility in your junior year. Since you've already done that semester in the summer prior, you can then do that immersive experience. Halfway through your course of study, you can reinforce that theory into a practical application. You can make those connections with industry. 90% of students that do a co-op opportunity when they're with us will get a job offer prior to graduation as well. So it's maybe not front and center when you're first looking at colleges, but having that practical application of your skills, having that immersive experience is something you might want to look at further down the line as well. This is just a quick snapshot of how that breaks down. You still graduate in the same 4 years, still the same cost of attendance, but again, you do have that immersive experience when you're with us as well. This is a sampling of some of the different companies that we work with. We have around 500 different companies in the spring and the fall come onto campus to actively recruit students. We do have a lot of connections with NASA, with Boeing, with GE, and these are all over the world and internationally as well. So you can really find a company which is really going to be a good fit for you. We really assist you with finding these opportunities. We have a career center on campus. They prepare your application or help you prepare your application, help you prepare your resume, essentially presenting yourself as best you can in those interview situations as well. They also have active recruitment throughout the year on campus too. So you really can make those connections throughout your time. It seems like I'm running out of time already, so I'm going to scoot through a little bit. So in terms of those next steps, there's a number of different ways you can connect with us. There's the RPI Instagram page, which is a great one-stop. You get a lot of snapshot into student life. And then we also have the RPI Admissions YouTube page. We have a number of ways you can connect with it virtually, but I'm going to be cognizant of my time, and I'm going to say, hopefully I'll see you a little bit later, or we see you further down the line. Thanks so much.
Thank you, RPI. That was fantastic. It is very difficult to get through all of this important information in 6 minutes, so we appreciate everyone's effort to do so. We're going to hear now from the University of Colorado. As they get ready, I want to remind everyone that the Q&A function is open, so get those questions in for our panelists. All right, UC Boulder, whenever you are ready, or CU Boulder, whenever you are ready.
You're good. Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Kelsey Livingston. I'm from CU Boulder, or University of Colorado Boulder. Quickly, a little bit about me. I think it's a fun fact to mention I'm from the Bay Area originally, and I'm a CU Boulder alum. So kind of cool to now be on this side of admissions to tell you more about CU. So here is our beautiful campus located in Boulder, Colorado, which is about 30 miles from Denver. Boulder is a college town and very much a city in a lot of ways too. You can definitely get a job downtown. And one of my favorite things about Boulder is that it's very accessible, very walking, biking friendly. And when you come to campus, you get a bus pass, which is included in your tuition. And that's how you go skiing on the weekend. That's how you get downtown if it's snowing. That's how you go to a Rockies game in Denver. And that's how you get to the airport if you want to go home. So it's a really accessible area. And that's one of my favorite things about it, which I always like to mention. Boulder is also a Pac-12 university. We're a large public institution, about 28,000 undergraduate students. So definitely something to take into account when thinking about what kind of school's right for you. But you know, as you can see on the screen here, we do have an 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and 85% of your classes will be 50 students or less. So you get kind of the best of both worlds there. We have that large hoorah Pac-12 atmosphere, right, of a big kind of college, but you still get those intimate classroom spaces, right, where you have time to make study groups, friends, talk to professors one-on-one. So that's definitely there. Talk a little bit more about colleges on the next slide, but important thing to note here is a majority of our students are involved in more than one program on campus, whether that be a double major or major minor combination, and that also speaks to clubs and organizations students are a part of too, which students are involved in more than one club on campus as well, and I think that that's a really unique factor to CU. So here just goes to show kind of all the programs we have. So I often get the question, what is CU known for? And, while we have a nationally ranked College of Engineering and Lead School of Business, we have a lot of programs to choose from, psychology being the most popular in arts and sciences. And we also have a pre-health track, right? So here are the colleges that we have available at CU Boulder. And I'm just going to take just a little bit more time to mention kind of a unique one called Exploratory Studies in the top right-hand corner there. And what that is essentially a first year program where students have the chance to explore, right? So if you're unsure of what you want to do, you can apply directly into this program. And it's also a second point of entry for our students too. So you are reviewed for first choice admission into your first choice program you put on the Common App, as well as exploratory studies. It does not add any more time to your degree. Again, just gives students a little bit more time to explore, figure out what they want to do, and then declare a major their second year on campus. So that's what that looks like. Here's another glimpse at Boulder, our wonderful campus, and just another kind of show how outdoorsy we really are. And also like to point out the Boulder Reservoir for, of course, Colorado is a landlocked state, but I think one really true factor to just Colorado in general is just it being a very outdoorsy kind of friendly area. And so there are a lot of ways to get in your outdoor fix. So now talking to, we talked a little bit about what students are doing on campus, whether they're outside hammocking, right, because it's so nice out, or, double majoring, things like that, but what makes a student successful after CU Boulder? What are they doing? Here's just a quick look at how 92% of our CU Boulder graduates are employed within 6 months of graduation. And how are our students being that successful so quickly after graduation? Well, we have a career services office on campus that you can utilize, of course, right during your time as an undergraduate student, but also after you graduate, because once a buff, always a buff. And so they're there for you to help support you, look at that resume, cover letter, go through maybe some internships you had in college and how that can serve you in the, real working world, right? So they're there to help you. And they also put on career fairs and things of that nature. And that's how a lot of students find, jobs in the Boulder, Denver area, but also worldwide. College degree doesn't just get you a job down the street. You can truly go wherever you want. Here are just some notable companies that we like to mention because there are some fun, popular ones in there, right? Like Google, which also has a campus in Boulder, which is really cool, just to show you where our students are getting employed. And now how to get to CU Boulder. I mentioned already very briefly that we're on the Common App. We are not a WUI school, so something to note there. And we have 2 application deadlines, an early action and then a regular decision. Best way to be competitive for CU Boulder, write it down, apply early, right? And talk to me, of course, too. Keep in touch. And those are the biggest tips I have there, because CU Boulder participates in a holistic review of applicants, which means you're more than just a number, right? So we want to hear what you're doing outside of school. We are reading those essays, and while we don't recognize, how often you email me, my job is to help you through this process. So keep in touch, definitely touch base. If you do have any questions or want to meet with me one-on-one, that's definitely helps me out, right? And helps you out as well. So here's just a little checklist. Don't have time to go through everything. And I will just point out we are waiting for more guidance from the state of Colorado on test scores. So hopefully more guidance this summer. That is not a CU Boulder decision. That is a state decision. So more guidance coming this summer. You will know when we know. And that is really all the time I have. Here is our spring visits experience link. If you want to learn more about CU specific programs, talk to a current student one-on-one, we have everything under the moon when it comes to virtual experiences. So be sure to check out more about CU. Thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, University of Colorado Boulder. We're going to hear now from Lafayette College. Take it away when you're ready.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Kathleen Williams. I am the Director of West Coast Admissions. And while I am in Easton, Pennsylvania, where Lafayette College is, I am a former Californian and was until a couple of years ago. So you're looking at an aerial view of Lafayette College. We are not in Lafayette, California, which I have been asked at fairs before, so college fairs. So I want you to know we're in Easton. Closest airport to fly into to get to Easton, Pennsylvania is Newark. That would be a direct flight for you. You are literally looking also at New Jersey. So Easton is the easternmost city in Pennsylvania. The Easton is in the Lehigh Valley, so about 800,000 people in that area. We're named after the Marquis de Lafayette, somebody that you would have heard about, no doubt, from Hamilton and maybe from history. He was a man way ahead of his time, and in defiance of his king, came and helped the colonists and helped us win what we call the Revolutionary War. We have letters from the Marquis to George Washington and back in our library, which is pretty awesome. He was a suffragist, he was an abolitionist, so a man who really stood up for what he believed in, and that kind of spirit permeates our campus. Our motto is Crayon, which means why not? Why not be all that you can be at Lafayette? We are a school that is a liberal arts and engineering school. So we've been doing engineering long before it was cool to be an engineer. In fact, I presented today with the director of engineering to our admitted students and 3 amazing engineering students. One a chemical engineer and another mechanical engineer. Those 2 have already been accepted to Stanford's PhD program. So while Lafayette may not be a household name for you, know that, certainly graduate programs know us, and so do employers. We have a lot of connections to California. The CEO of Levi Strauss, which is headquartered in San Francisco, is a Lafayette guy. He was an international affairs major. Joe Madden took the Chicago Cubs to the World Series and is now the manager at the Angels. He was an econ major at Lafayette. And although not from California, I'm sure some of you may have donned some Vineyard Vines gear. Vineyard Vines was started by a Lafayette guy who was an English major. Lafayette was the first college or university in the country to have English as a major, and his brother. They started it in their garage, and the 2 brothers still own Vineyard Vines. So at Lafayette, we have 4 divisions: engineering, the social sciences, the natural sciences, and the humanities, 51 areas of study. We are an undergraduate school only. That means all the opportunities are yours and yours alone. You are not taught by TAs or grad students because we don't have them. You are not vying for research opportunities with grad students because we don't have them. 2,600 students, over 200 clubs and organizations, and we are Division I, which a lot of people might not realize. So Division I in the Patriot League, if you were to look up football rivalries, the Lafayette-Lehigh rivalry is always in a top 25 list. Those 2 schools have played each other more times than any 2 schools in the country. In fact, in 2014, they played their 150th game against each other, and they decided to do it at Yankee Stadium in New York City. The presidents then got nervous. Oh, is anybody going to come? Well, it was sold out in no time at all. Happy to report a Lafayette victory. Nearly 50,000 people there, with the Empire State Building lit up on one side with Lafayette colors and the other side with Lehigh colors. So you don't have to go to a big school to have big school spirit. That is for sure. In terms of scholarships, Lafayette does have merit scholarships that are full tuition and half tuition plus marquee awards, which vary from $10,000 to $15,000. We also are an Army ROTC school, and we have Division I scholarships as well for sports. This is the town of Easton. I love it. As you'll notice, there aren't any chain restaurants or anything like that down here. It is really locally owned. To orient you, right up here is College Hill. There are some steps you can walk down that drops you right in front of our arts campus, where our film and media studies students, fine arts and theater students take their classes. It's where our black box theater, cinema, radio and television stations are. And then to walk to this kiosk from College Hill might take you 15 minutes. It's home to a garlic festival in October, not as big as Gilroy's, but still a great one. And my favorite, the first weekend in November, Bacon Fest, where 100,000 people will converge when we're not in a pandemic anyway, on Easton for Bacon Fest. What you can't see off here in the corner is the Crayola Crayon factory. It's not the real factory, but it is an interactive place for kids of all ages. So if you've ever picked up a Crayola crayon, you already have a connection to Easton and to Lafayette, because Easton is in fact home of the Crayola crayon. That is our our downtown arts campus, as I was saying. So, why would you come to Lafayette? Return on investment, for sure. Our kids are gainfully employed. We will get you into the career, the Gateway Career Center, which is always ranked very highly in the nation for career centers. If you aspire to go to any of the graduate programs, our students do very well there as well. We're a common application school. We are test optional for the SAT and ACT until 2023. We do a holistic review of your application, and we highly recommend interviews. So we are a school that definitely looks at demonstrated interest. And Jeannie, I see you're here, so I know I'm out of time, and I will pass it to our last speaker.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lafayette College. I know this is so challenging. We are going to hear now from our final institution, and that is Columbia College Chicago. Whenever you are ready.
Right. Thank you so much. And thank you, esteemed colleagues. It's great to see you again, Kathleen. It's been a minute, but I hope you're doing well out there in PA. Thank you for joining us. I know and I hope that this has been an informative day, and I hope you stick around for the next session just after the top of the hour here. My name is Marty. I am with Columbia College Chicago, located in the Windy City, and I am thinking about bacon, but also deep dish pizza now. So let's get into talking about Columbia in Chicago. A little bit about us. We are a creative arts institution. So it may be helpful to say we're not that Columbia that maybe you're familiar with or that you're thinking of. But believe it or not, we've been an institution devoted to communication and media and the arts since 1890. And our only campus is located in downtown Chicago. Here is my contact information. I failed to announce my pronouns, he, him, and his, that's me. My email address, my phone number, and you are welcome to screenshot any of this information if you would like. As I mentioned, we're a school devoted entirely to creative work. So I like to very simply and probably overgenerously say we are attracting students who absolutely are interested in really only either producing or supporting creative work. We'll look at some of our majors in a moment, but I want to say we're unabashedly a liberal arts college, and we really believe that subjects like the humanities, subjects like science, subjects like math are ingredients to creative process. And so all students do graduate with a liberal arts experience. We also require all of our students to study some level of business or marketing and or entrepreneurship. And so for this, really goal of Columbia, it's to purposely talk about how the creative industries are real industries, multi-billion-dollar industries in our country and a great export. So all of the students experience those types of curricula experiences. I think students intentionally choose Columbia for these four reasons. Number one, the city of Chicago. Our campus is an urban campus located in one particular neighborhood of Chicago that is really bookended by the city's culture and museum attractions. We're also super close to Lake Michigan, so believe it or not, there are parks and beaches right across the street from our admissions offices. But we really importantly want students to engage and contribute to the life and the culture happening in the city of Chicago. So Chicago being the third largest city, opportunities are there for students to perform, to gig, to gallery off campus. And that's what we really, I think, cater for students' experiences. Of course, we're always trying to come up with complex collaborative experiences and really experiences with difference. We have students coming from all 50 states and over 60 countries right now at Columbia. And so inherently, our students, our creatives are going to be making new work with people who are different or who have different experiences and different values. And we think that's where the magic happens. Suffice it to say, we're a hands-on learning experience. You see in this frame here, this is a fashion design course. This is an actual classroom where students are producing their work. So we don't have lecture halls or those types of experiences for our students. And then I hope the aforementioned really lead to endless networking and career opportunities. Going back to the city of Chicago, going back to engaging with difference and really having practical experiences that students can build a body of work or continue to build their body of work. We have around 6,000 students at the college. Again, that's all creative students. So I think that's a pretty impressive number, but I don't think we're too impersonal of an institution. Students definitely get to know each other and their peers. 99% of our students are currently receiving aid. This past year, 25% of our students self-identified as first-generation college students, and around 60% of our new students self-identified as students of color. Our main sort of academic and creative areas fall into the media and digital arts, the visual arts, music and sound, the performing arts, communication and writing, and again, business and management. And so on the next slide, you'll see a bit more detail in terms of the programs. I will say, especially for your students, I think people know us for our theater programs. Yes, we have musical theater, both a BA and a BFA program, and really anything in theater, but we're probably most known for our comedy writing and performance program, which is actually co-taught with the Second City in Chicago. Likewise, our music programs, we have absolutely contemporary music programs, everything from composing music, performing it, recording it, engineering it, etc. We have 5 photography majors at Columbia, and believe it or not, your students are interested in using their visual storytelling skills and applying them again into that business context. So we have a lot of students who are also interested in advertising and social media. So again, really everything with a creative lens at our institution. And last but not least, film and television. So everything from writing, producing, editing film, that in fact is our most populated program at Columbia. So a little bit on the process. We are on a Common App or also our application. So for you rising seniors, you'll find us in both arenas. Either app is cool, but we just truly only need one. We always try to be as humanly holistic as possible. And we practice a rolling admission process. So our applications for 2022 will open in August, and they will kind of stay open for that school year. So proud to announce that we have chosen to be a test-free institution moving forward, period, full stop. We do not require and we will not be considering test scores for admission or for scholarship consideration at Columbia. We do have scholarships for students who are admitted to the institution, as well as those who submit an audition or portfolio. Very quickly, portfolios and auditions vary by major. Give me a shout if you have any questions, and I will guide you through that. And once again, here's my contact information. Thank you so much for your time. Please be good to yourselves and to each other. And don't stop thinking about all that food we've been talking about this evening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that, Columbia College Chicago. A great way to wrap up this portion of the event, which is hearing from each of these individual campuses. I'm going to ask all of my colleagues to join me back on video here now, which many of them already have. I'm going to share my screen very briefly because we're kicking off the Q&A portion of this event. So it is a facilitated Q&A, some pre-planned questions we have, taking advantage of the experts we have on the call today. So the first question I have for our panelists is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to start with Boston College.
Sure. I think a great place to start is an honest self-assessment, and just thinking about your interests, but also what kind of learner you are when you are at your best self in terms of a classroom setting. Is it more hands-on instruction, discussion? Are you somebody that absorbs information and needs to process it on your own? Really, when you find yourself at your best in terms of learning in that comfort zone, and understand also what is appropriate for you. And again, answering that question, when you're at your best self in terms of your learning environment may not be the same for your your friend group. And it may not be what others have envisioned for you as well. So don't be afraid to really take a hard look at, again, where you want to be, how you see yourself flourishing, but answering that question of what really kind of learning environment is going to be supportive of you, and also be able to, in a comfortable way, but also push you beyond your comfort zone too.
Wonderful answer. All right, Connecticut College, what is your advice?
I would say try not to stress too much about the selectivity process. There are so many great schools. I have worked at 4 liberal arts colleges and taken classes at 3. And first page, second page, third page, if you want to do it from a US News perspective, all the way up and down the rankings, and all of them were offering really powerful, meaningful, successful experiences for their students. So while there are, rankings are an indicator, selectivity is an indicator of certain things, really the number one thing you should be focusing on is the right fit for you. Where are you going to thrive? Regardless of acceptance rate, where are you going to thrive? And apply to a range of schools and find your right fit.
Great advice. RPI, what would you like to add for this question?
Absolutely. I would say start early and visit as many campuses as you can. You're going to have that visceral reaction when you walk onto a campus, see the student body interacting. You get a sense of whether you can see yourself there yourself. So it might seem like it's a little ways away, but get as much information as you can, cast that wide net, and then start narrowing down that choice. I know it's a little bit overwhelming when you first start, and look how they support you once they're at the campus as well. So academic support, community, clubs, organizations, you want to be comfortable once you get there as well.
Wonderful answer. Okay, CU Boulder, you're up next. And you're muted right now.
Dang it. We're so good at this point, you'd think. I mean, I mentioned this in my presentation, keeping in touch with us, I think is huge. Just ask a lot of questions, right? There's no such thing as a wrong question to ask when you're especially starting out this early on, right? You want to know as much as you can. And so please, we share our, contact information for a reason. We want to keep in touch with you. We want to answer your questions. So visit us, reach out, and yeah, definitely ask a lot of questions.
Great advice. Thank you. Lafayette College, what would you like to add?
Sure. There are about 3,000 colleges in this country. And so I would encourage you to take a look at places that you've never heard of before, because they may be really great fits for you. So cast a wide net before you narrow that list to really find out if there are some hidden gems out there that you've never heard of. And then know that you're going to find a lot of schools that that visceral reaction will be like, yep, I could see myself here. And so there are going to be a number of schools who take you. So just know that, right? And wherever you ultimately land, you will bloom where you're planted. So, I think if you take a breath and just know that, then I think this journey to your college might be less stressful.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Columbia College Chicago, you're up next.
Amen to all of that, Kathleen. My tidbit is if you're visiting one of our cities, take a look at all the other colleges that are probably near us. You may even expand your list just by visiting one of us and seeing some schools down the block or in the next town over. So keep that open mind, but do a bit of research before you land in our cities.
Great. And a lot of that advice was in line with what the purpose of this session was, right? To explore institutions you may not have considered or heard of before. So we really hope that you got a lot of value out of this session. I want to thank you so much for all of our experts being here, sharing information about their campuses and their tips for the college search process. We are wrapping up now. I put the link to where you can find the recording for this and all of the other events taking place with this series in about a week's time. When you close the session today, you're going to receive a very quick 4-question survey. Any information that you can provide will be very useful as we work on future events for you all. And last but not least, after this, you should be heading into your sessions where you get to choose the institution. So take a look at the list of presenters, and you've got 2 more opportunities to jump into sessions to hear from more colleges and universities. All right, everyone, thank you so much. We'll see you in other sessions. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.